Welcome to today's press conference for the Ole Miss Rebels student athletes. Ole Miss's sports information director is Madeline Marshall. Today we are joined by student athletes Marquisha Davis and Madison Scott. We'll now take questions for the student athletes. Please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of each question. And if you're on the Zoom call and have a question, use the raise hand function. I'll call on you if we have time.
Hi, Alex Simon from Bay Area News Group. Madison, when you guys are able to rebound like you did yesterday, I'm sure that you guys are happy. I know Coach was extremely excited about it, but how much of a challenge will this Stanford team present in trying to replicate the type of rebounding numbers that you guys typically get?
Well, we know that when we rebound, when we get a stop and then when we rebound, it fuels our offense, it fuels our transition game. We want to run and share the ball. That's how we play. So tomorrow we're just going to do our best to rebound and do what we've been doing, all season long.
Marissa and Jemmy, San Francisco Chronicle. For both of you guys, just how are you going to be able to stay as physical against a team like Stanford? They're a bigger team than Gonzaga. Just kind of what's your takeaway from their physicality and size as a team?
Definitely. They're big, but, we play in the SEC. And I can honestly say that the SEC prepares us, for big moments, for big games. This is March, so we're going to play as tough as we can and do what we came here to do. We're going to play together and try to get a win tomorrow.
We'll go to Zoom for this next question. Gabriella, you can ask your question.
Madison, you come into this program with 0-16 on SEC play. Last year, make the first round. Now the second round. Can you speak to the growth of the program and also where you feel like you fit into that development?
Definitely. The growth has been tremendous. We get better every year. It's been amazing to be a part of. Something that's bigger than myself. And we're not done. We're still growing each and every day, each and every practice. And there's still a lot more, for us to do and a lot more for us to accomplish. So I'm just excited to be a part of it. I thank God, I thank Coach Joe for all the opportunity. And I thank my teammates, And like I said, we have a lot more to do. There's still a lot more in store for us. So I'm just excited to be a part of it and looking forward to what the future holds.
Marquisha, when you made the choice to transfer here from Arkansas, to be at this stage, I know you guys at Arkansas had success when you were there, but what does it mean to be at this stage with this group right now?
It means a lot because I've never won a first-round game in the NCAA tournament, and I'm just blessed to be here.
This is for either one of you. This is Kurt Streeter from the New York Times. What would it mean to your program and your team to come in here at Maples and beat one of the true blue blood teams, one of the teams that has done it for decades? What would that mean to you guys and to the future of your program?
I think that it would mean a lot because all year long we've been waiting to get to this point, and I just feel like that if we all play together and stay tough, that we can do it.
How does having played South Carolina twice prepare you for this game?
Like I said before, we played in the SEC, so it's a lot of girls that are bigger, stronger, faster. The physicality level is extremely high. So I think that has prepared us and will help us, tomorrow against Stanford. Just knowing that we've been in a lot of physical games. And, hey, it's March. We want to win. We want to do what it takes to win, So we're going to play together. We're going to be tough. And we're gonna do everything in our power to do well tomorrow.
Which games have you watched of film from theirs? I'm sure maybe some of the recent ones, but if you looked at opponents that you guys have both played, because I think it's South Carolina, obviously Gonzaga, Tennessee, Utah. Have you guys watched any of those games specifically?
Yeah, definitely. We watched a lot of games, a lot of different clips. So we're our coaches are making sure that we're prepared, So we're watching everything that we need to watch, and yeah.
We'll take one more from Zoom. Gabriella, you can ask your question.
Madison, after the SEC tournament loss, you said to me as well as your teammates, we didn't play Ole Miss women's basketball. Can you speak about the fire that you guys came into in the last game and the mentality going into this game against, a #1 seed?
Yeah, definitely. We don't want to have any regrets. That's the biggest thing for us. We truly love each other, and we truly believe in all the hard work that we've put in. We believe in ourselves. So to play in the SEC tournament and not play to the standard. To not play with great pride. With Ole Miss across our chest. We felt like not only did we let ourselves down, but we let a lot of people down. So that's what our motive has been coming in. We want to do this for ourselves, but also for everyone who supported us. Everyone who's done so much for us, who's been there since day one. So that's our goal. We're going to play hard. We're going to play Ole Miss women's basketball. That's a non-negotiable because it's March. We're not ready to go home.
And what, in your film of Stanford, what have you seen in them? What do they do best?
What they do best is they want to shoot. I think they want to shoot threes, get to the free throw line, push in transition. So, yeah.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Thank you, Marquisha and Madison. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll now take a short break and be back with Ole Miss head coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen. Welcome to today's press conference for Ole Miss Rebels head coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen. Ole Miss's sports information director is Madeline Marshall. We'll now take questions for Coach McPhee-McEwen. As a reminder, please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of each question. If you're on the Zoom call and have a question, use the raise hand function. I'll call on you if we have time.
Hey, Coach. Alex Simon from Bay Area News Group. Obviously, you talked about South Carolina a lot in what you guys believe, but as you watch Stanford in the film coming in, is there similarities, you think, kind of with how the approach is as you've now dissected that film?
Yeah, I don't think they are. I mean, they're two different teams, two different styles, and that's what makes it fun. Our approach for Stanford is going to be tailor-made for Stanford, whereas South Carolina, our approach was tailor-made for them. So at the end of the day, we'll stick to our defensive system and hope that works out for us.
Marissa and Jemmy, San Francisco Chronicle. With a team like Stanford, with how much depth they have coming off the bench, how much size they have coming off the bench, how do you prepare for a team that just continues to bring in weapons? And does playing and coaching in the SEC, does that help prepare you for other Power 5 matchups outside the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, last night our bench scored 33 points, so I think we have some firepower coming off the bench as well. One of the things that we're going to focus on is staying true to who we are. I do believe that us playing in the Southeastern Conference has prepared us for an opportunity like the one that's in front of us. There are a lot of teams in the Southeastern Conference that have depth, and we've had to manage it. And hopefully I put together a good enough game plan to give us a chance.
Two questions here for you. Obviously, it's just on an emotional level, it's your first NCAA tournament win as a head coach. Did you hear from anybody like that felt most meaningful kind of in congratulating you in the last amount of time? I'm sure there was a lot that people you heard from. But.
Well, my family's here, so they were able to celebrate with me, and then my dad giving me a hug after the game. That meant a lot. My dad is a Hall of Fame coach in the Bahamas, so, I know there's a lot of pride. Now that I'm a parent, I understand probably how he feels, because when I go to my daughter's soccer game, I'm an emotional wreck. So I could only imagine him watching me do my thing. As far as everybody else, anybody that reaches out to me, whether there's someone I know personally or on social media, there's a level of gratitude that I have just because I share so much with, the basketball community, my family, who I am. And so they've watched me go from being 0-16 to being here now. So anytime someone reaches out or tweets at me, it's pretty cool.
And I know you said last night you guys are preparing as if Brink is going to be available for them. Whether she plays or not, though, how much is the rebounding game? It's key to what you guys do so much, but how much will that, I guess, really determine this matchup between two teams who can rebound the ball really well?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be something important. It's our identity. We want to rebound, run, and share the ball. Everybody that has talked to us knows that. That's not a secret, so I'm not giving anything away. It's our philosophy. And so, obviously, whether we're playing Gonzaga or now Stanford, we're going to want to rebound, run, and share the ball.
Hi, Yolette.
Hey.
It's Janie from Associated Press. Nice to see you. Were you able to, you talked up here last night about just being kind of emotionally and physically spent from the way that you run up and down the sidelines. And were you able to get any sleep? Did you go straight to film? What was sort of the night like?
I think I got about 4 hours in last night. And then this morning, our athletic trainer hooked me up with some Normatec boots. So I'm feeling fresh now. I'm ready to go and rejuvenated. I don't have my voice yet, but I'm talking, so it's not gonna heal right now. So, but I will continue to work on it for tomorrow.
What kind of boots? Compression? Are those the healing boots?
Yeah.
So
our players use it. I just borrowed it for 20 minutes.
Okay. So where do you go on your back? I've only seen it a few
it's
times.
like boots. You just put them on and you're sitting down. So as I was watching film this morning, I was being worked on.
And you feel 100% better?
I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody feels 100% in March. We're just kind of going on adrenaline, but I bet it'll die off once in the conclusion of this tour that we're on. Hopefully, not tomorrow night.
Do you typically lose your voice in these times like March and conference tournament and big games like that?
Yeah, I think I feel like I did something to my lungs or something like that. When we had 3 games in 1 week and we played Kentucky at home, and then we went to the PMAC and they had like 9,000 fans, and then we came back and we played LSU, and then we came back and we had like 7,000 fans, and my voice was shot. And so anytime I scream since then, it does this. So I think I'm just going to need like the off season to rest my voice. So I think anytime any type of shouting occurs, this is what happens. And so like I'm stressed because Stanford, like I just love the way the gym is set up, and because it feels like everyone's right on top of you. So even if it's 4,000 people, it should be pretty loud. So I don't know how I'm going to do this tomorrow, but I'll figure it out.
In terms of impact and importance to you and to your team, now you're playing a storied, legendary team tomorrow on their home court, one of the great coaches of all time. What would it mean to you to win tomorrow?
I mean, when I took this program over, we were in bad shape. The bones were good, but we needed to build. And And I've always thought that we would be in this position at some point. We're here now, and to go up against a legendary coach like Tara and to give our best, and hopefully for us to beat them, it would mean the world. And the reason why it would mean a lot is not really for me. It's for the people that's going to come behind me, because I believe that I'm the future of women's basketball. Being 40 years old, I'm pretty young, and I just think you can't be what you can't see. So when I was coming up, I was able to see Vivian Stringer, and then more recently Dawn Staley, but also Pat Summitt, Tara, and Gino. But obviously there is a connection I have with C-Viv and Dawn Staley. So I hope what I'm doing, and to me to be able to, us to be able to win and beat a blue blood, like you mentioned, is a great story. Aren't we in the Bay? That's why everyone loves Steph Curry, because when you see LeBron, you really can't be LeBron, but you could be Steph. You know what I mean? What is he, 6'2"? You know, so whatever. So he's more like doable. But when you see Tara, she's on the mountaintop. Sometimes maybe you don't feel like you can reach that. But then you have Yo, who migrated from the Bahamas and had a dollar and a dream, and someone gave her an opportunity and she made the most of it. I think that's a relatable story. So tomorrow I'm not only coaching for myself and the program, but the ones that hopefully will get an opportunity after me.
Yo, would you want players on your team then to be part of that group in the future, to be the ones after you in terms of their development into post-playing career as a coach?
Absolutely. I mean, but there are other coaches that are right on my heels that, and look, I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm just talking about like steps, you know, and I think there are tons of really good coaches they got their teams in the tournament right now that are waiting for an opportunity to coach at the Power 5 level. And hopefully, you know, we could continue to normalize giving coaches like myself, who started at the Atlantic Sun Conference and made this move, more opportunities. Like I watched the guy from Fairleigh Dickinson, like how could you not root for him, you know? There are tons of really good coaches out here, and they just need an opportunity. So, you know, for the people that need some type of motivation, you know, they can just stop and look at me. Doesn't matter the gender or the race, just the journey in itself. So for sure.
Hi. Thanks for sharing that. That was nice. You spoke the other day about your team's, you know, commitment to the community and all of those things. Yo, where does that stem from for you? I mean, you spoke about your father, and where'd that example come from, or is that something that just was dear to your heart from, you know, childhood?
No, my mom was an educator for 30 years, both of my parents. So my dad was my high school coach, and my mom initially was a typewriting teacher and then moved up to be a vice principal and then the principal for 20 years. And so all my life I've known how to be a part of any type of philanthropic work, because, you know, my parents embody community service and servanthood. You know, my dad next month is going to have a street named after him. He has a park named after him. Like my mom is a Hall of Famer. So, like, I come from a legendary group. All I know is excellence. And so, and when I talk about excellence, I'm talking about from a servanthood mindset. And so I just vividly remember watching my mom bring in pregnant teens that got kicked out, and my dad bringing in young boys that didn't have a place to stay but was on his team. And I guess that's what I learned, you know. Without them really teaching me that, I was able to watch and learn. And so that's why I try to be an example for my daughters and my players so that they could just want to do that when they get an opportunity. And so what we're building at Ole Miss is just a bunch of great young people that are going to impact whatever community they're a part of because it's become a way of life for them. And I just don't ever want them to always take. See, athletes can always take because athletes get a lot. And athletes are not always taught to give. I know because I was an athlete. And so one of the things we challenge and we focus on at Ole Miss with our program is that we will receive, but we will also give back. Thrive is trust, help others, rise to the occasion, identify when you need to make a change, vacate any type of negative energy, and earn everything that we get. So the help is the part of the community service, and it's something that I take pride in.
How many siblings do you have?
Well, for my mom and dad, I'm the only child.
Okay.
And but my dad was a Rolling Stone, so I have brothers and sisters, but I didn't get to grow up with them.
But your parents had people in the house.
All
would
the
you
time.
Say that, okay.
All
so
the
you always
time.
had somebody staying there.
Always, whether it's a male's basketball player, or like I said, my mom was a principal, and so shoot, people were always in and out. So I have a lot of people back home in the Bahamas that are rooting for me and that are messaging me. They don't realize it's a time change, so I started getting hit up at 4 this morning. Just people that are incredibly proud.
And last one from me, if that's okay. Coach Minetti sat up here last night after her team's great run and said she didn't tell her players that Cameron Brink was out until just before tip-off, but she also didn't tell them that Cam's replacement was a 6'7" freshman. So, I mean, what do you make of the depth of that Stanford team? And just they're big. They're bigger than your team, probably.
Yeah. Listen, Stanford's an incredible team, and luckily for us, we're blessed to be a part of the Southeastern Conference, where size is something that we are used to. And like I stated with South Carolina. So it's not going to be something that's foreign to us. I bet it will present some challenges. We'll do our best to try to manage that. And we're just really excited about the opportunity.
We have time for one last question.
Yeah, just would you be the type that would want – your players might figure it out if they look across during warm-ups, but would you be the type that would tell them at some point or just kind of let them figure it out if she's not on the floor, if Brink doesn't play?
We don't care who plays and who doesn't play. Like, seriously, they can bring 2 people we've never heard of. It's March. We're ready to ball. So that's not going to change our game plan. I think we need to give Stanford some credit, right? They're a really good team. So whether she's gone or she's there, we expect to fight. And we're going to fight. So either way, someone's going to get knocked out tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
We'll be back at 2:15 with Stanford. As a reminder, please silence all cell phones. Welcome to today's press conference for the Stanford Cardinal student athletes. Stanford Sports Information Director is Wilder Treadway. Today we are joined by student athletes Fran Balibi, Elena Bozgana, and Agnes Emma Nopu. We'll now take questions for the student athletes. Please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of each question. If you're on the Zoom call and have a question, use the raise hand function, and I will call on you if we have time.
Ben Parker, CardinalSportsReport.com. This question is for Fran. Just talk about the way that you've been able to comport yourself and kind of handle just the ebbs and flows of the different roles you've had. Some games you've not played much, other games you've had to really step up and play like the other night. Just talk about the way you've kind of mentally approached things and stayed locked in and been able to just do your job no matter what it is each and every night.
Yeah, I mean, Tara kind of talks about this team as kind of being an orchestra, and so you never really know when your night is going to be to step up. I think for me personally, I've had a lot of great role models and leaders before I've been here at Stanford with Alyssa and Nadia and Anna Wilson, and they've really shown me how to kind of be a good teammate and how to be a good leader regardless of what your position is on the court. And so I just try to make sure that in everything I'm doing, I'm staying ready and I'm being the best teammate, the best friend, the best leader I can be, and I think that kind of then allows me to go on the court and just do what I have to do.
Ladies. Janie McCauley from Associated Press. Tara kind of talks about the journey from the very beginning. I mean, I've heard it for so many years, and preparing each player to have a role in March, whatever that role might be. And you kind of touched on that, Fran, just now, but last night it took something from everybody when you didn't have Cam to kind of pick up the load. What are your thoughts on how she approaches that from way back, September, October to March, to have everybody ready, and even the challenges of getting minutes for everybody when possible?
Yeah, like you said, we need to stay ready, and we know that every night we don't know who's going to play well, who's not going to play very well. We need to have different people stepping up every night, and I feel that we hold each other accountable. And we help each other. So yeah, we stay positive, and throughout the year we've tried very hard for this time.
I think just echoing what Elena said, just the aspect of staying ready. I think that there's always, you don't know what's going to happen, so everybody just staying locked in, and I think we practice that. Tara, practices that with us in training sessions, so I think just having that idea of, we're always ready, to hear your name called.
And I think Tara tells us from the very beginning, from the summer, that we need everybody to get to where we want to go, and it doesn't matter really what your role is. It's an important role, and there's a spot for you on this team in whatever role you're in, and so I think that sometimes we have scout team, we have kind of the bench players, we have the starters, and everyone kind of knows their role. But like we've all been saying, it's also our job to stay ready for whatever might happen. And so people were out yesterday, and we just had Agnes, Elena, everyone just kind of stepped up to kind of fill whatever role was needed. But I think that Tara has really honed in on us from the very beginning that everyone has a role in this team, everyone is important to the team, and it's always just about staying ready. You never know when your name's going to be called.
Hi, this is Kurt Streeter from the New York Times. This is a question that really any of you can pick up. 1998, I believe, one of the biggest upsets in NCAA history, probably in any sport, when Harvard beat Stanford. Is that something that you guys think of or talk about as a way to motivate you to stay ready? Just knowing that, this program knows that anything can happen in these first two rounds.
I think that's always kind of something at the back of your mind. It's the tournament. It's Division I basketball. Everyone can play basketball, and every team in this tournament has earned their right and their role to be here. And so that means that at any given moment, anybody could win. So we kind of attacked this game and kind of prepared for this game with the utmost respect for Sacred Heart, knowing that anything can happen. And so it's up to us to really step on them and jump on them to make sure that, we don't get upset again.
And thoughts and prayers for Purdue after last night. Agnes, I did want to ask just a question for you. Just how much pride do you take representing Australian basketball here in the States? Obviously, Australia is a big basketball country. Just how much pride do you take in being an Aussie out here representing Down Under?
I guess, a lot of pride, especially in the Pac-12 tournament. I think there's an Australian probably in every team, and Tara and I talk about it. She said that when Alana Smith used to be here, she'd always want to be the better Aussie on the floor. So, yes, there's the pride in, wanting to represent the country, but then there's the pride in also wanting to be the better Aussie and be in the winning team. Yeah.
I think Alana usually was the better Aussie on the floor.
Fran, you've been around here for a while to watch the way Tara works and operates and the way she uplifts others on your team. But, just going through the handshake line last night, she stops and she talks to the coach for the 16th seed that's trying to make a name for itself and talks to the freshman point guard. And she does it all the time. And you have the coach on Ole Miss who says, I'm the future here going against one of the greats. And do you think Tara kind of rubs off on people everywhere, not just coaches, but just people, the way she handles herself decade after decade?
Yeah, I mean, Tara is a legend. She's has the record. She's close to breaking the record across men and women's basketball. And so that takes a lot of winning, and that takes having had to go through a lot of different decades, a lot of different ebbs and flows within teams, within the world. And so I think that she's adapted really well to continue to win in the way that she has. And I think that kind of her winning mentality and her approach to the game and her approach to women's basketball, women's sports, and really women in general, I think does rub off. And so I think that anything she kind of has to say to anyone is held in high esteem. And yeah, she is one of the greats, if not the greatest. And so watching kind of just how she interacts with other people, how she uplifts other people, and even kind of the way she talks about our opponents, it's always with the utmost respect for them and for the game. And so that's something that we can all definitely take with us.
Do you ladies want to weigh in on that? Just, Tara's always doing the extra thing for people. I mean, it's above and beyond, it seems. She doesn't have to, but and she's almost 70, still doing it with joy and love.
Just sort of echoing on what Fran said and what you said about Tara, high-fiving the freshman point guard. We were watching film, and she always emphasizes we can't underestimate any opponent. She really spoke highly of the way that the freshman point guard played. So I think she rubs off on people in the way that she just carries herself and the way that she treats everybody as equal in terms of opponents that we face and everything like that.
Yeah, I think that she really likes encouraging others, and that's something that she has passed to us too. So I feel that it's incredible, and it's very important to do that to other teams too.
Looking ahead, you guys are facing the Rebels tomorrow, Ole Miss. Just kind of thoughts on that matchup. What did you guys see from them from the Gonzaga game? And what do you think are kind of in general, just some of the keys you guys are going to have to do to advance past tomorrow night?
They're a great team. They're very aggressive, so we need to stay focused. And I feel that we have a goal, and we need to play 40 minutes. We need to run, and we're going to be in great shape.
And I think saying that, some teams look at us and think, the nice girls from Stanford. So I think we've got to go out there with the mentality that we're not going to let people walk into our home, go into our fridge, take our drinks, sit on our couch, turn on our TV. We gotta like not let them punk us. So we've had.
Alex Simon from Bay Area News Group. Fran, obviously, I'm sure you guys would have loved to have had Cam yesterday, but you were able to get a start in what could be your last weekend here at Maples. Just did that maybe mean anything extra to you to kind of get to go out there and start?
I thought that was really funny. I think my teammates were like a lot more excited than I was, which I love them for that. I don't know. It's just, yeah, there's always kind of in the back of all of our heads with the Funky Four, like this is our last home weekend potentially. And so we just kind of want to go out with some wins, be able to say that we made it to Seattle. And so for me, it really was just about kind of stepping up to the plate. It was very last minute for all of us, kind of finding out that Cam wouldn't be there. And so it was just a matter of making sure I knew the scout and what to do. But there was a short second there before the game started where I was like, oh, wow, we're here. But yeah.
And to have Cam back out there at practice today, you guys were able to be fine without her yesterday, but how important is she to what you guys do?
Very, very. Even when I found out, I was like, but Sunday you'll be there? But yeah, it was really great to have Cam out there and get her kind of back in the groove of things because, I mean, she's an All-American. Like, I really think that's enough said.
One more, because I always like to know, you made it to the end of week 10, finals next week. How much do you still have on your plate, and how do you put that aside and focus on basketball?
I have two finals on the same day next week, so we're gonna get that switched around. But it's, I don't know, this is the student athlete life, and we're students first, and we kind of signed up for that a little bit. So it's about managing our time and making sure we have time for both, but whatever we're doing and whatever we're in, we're focused on.
Ben Parker, CardinalSports.com. Going off of Sam's question, just talk a little bit about your majors, what you guys are studying, and why you picked that major, and what you enjoy about what it is that you study here as students.
I can start. I'm a human biology major with the concentration in neurobiology and human performance. And hopefully in the future, I'm wanting to become a neurosurgeon. And so I think that sort of passion stems from my parents. My father's a doctor and my mother's a nurse. So I've sort of grown up in like the medical background. And yeah, I just want to be able to help people. I'm really interested in the brain. So yeah, that's the path forward.
I haven't declared yet, but I'm going to do science, technology, and society. And it's very interdisciplinary. You can do many different things, from communication to biology, everything really. So I love it. And I like interacting with people. So that will give me this opportunity.
I'm majoring in human biology with a concentration in human performance. And then I also have a minor in psychology. And kind of like Agnes, well, I don't want to be a neurosurgeon. That's really, really deep. But I do want to be a pediatrician. Both my parents are doctors, and my mom is a pediatrician. And so the program with human biology is also very interdisciplinary, and we really have a great opportunity to kind of pick our path. So me and Agnes are in a couple classes together now. But yeah, that's kind of my plan, med school after this.
Thank you, Fran, Elena, and Agnes. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yesterday was match day, so it's like the next round of doctors.
Yeah,
and you
I
all,
saw.
They're all doctors
I saw
here.
it all on TikTok.
I promise I'm not. Welcome to today's press conference for Stanford Cardinal head coach Tara Vanderveer. Stanford Sports Information Director is Wilder Treadway. We'll now take questions for Coach Vanderveer. As a reminder, please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of each question. If you're on the Zoom call and have a question, please use the raise hand function. I will call on you if we have time.
Hi, Tara. Ben Parker, CardinalSportsReport.com. So just kind of kicking things off here, just thoughts on Ole Miss, matchup with the Rebels, upon watching the film, what have you seen and what are, some of the keys you guys are going to have to advance past tomorrow?
Didn't sleep last night, Ben. They're really good. They're a very experienced group. Looking through, I didn't see any freshmen even on their roster in terms of people that play. They play, very aggressive style. They really took Gonzaga apart yesterday, and we are going to have to play very well.
Marissa and Jemmy, San Francisco Chronicle. We talked to Cam. She said she's good to go for tomorrow. Just how important is it to have her back, obviously? And did you take anything away from the opportunity to see what your group and your depth looks like without her?
Well, there's a big difference between a 16 seed in this bracket and a 8, 9, or 8 seed. We need Cam. We're really happy that she's back. I thought she practiced very well today. You want to have something good out of every opportunity, and I think yesterday was a great opportunity for Lauren Betts, and Fran got a double-double, Kiki, just getting more experience, and I thought they did very, very well.
Alex Simon with Bay Area News Group. Obviously, it's going to be a pretty interesting rebounding matchup. They put up some huge numbers. I think it was 26 offensive rebounds yesterday.
Alex, that's not interesting.
But with Cam in particular coming back from an illness, is there maybe any caution that you have to use with her minutes-wise to try to maybe ease her back?
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, everyone is always day-to-day, so you're hoping that she's feeling great and that she's ready to go, and you hope that everyone else is feeling great and ready to go. But you did kind of hit one of the nails on the head. You have to rebound against this team, and our team is going to have to, be aggressive. You can't be the nice girls from Stanford.
Hi, Tara. Janie McCauley from AP. Talking to Yolette, earlier she said, "I'm the future. I'm the coaching future," and looks at you as an example and a pioneer. And I know you said something to her the other day that when she was scouting, I think it was. Could you kind of take us through that conversation and just your impressions of her teams from afar? They do one community service project a month, and I know that kind of stuff matters to you too, the community, the doing stuff for others.
Well, I saw Coach Yo as she was coming on the court, and she's done a fabulous job, and kind of a little bit, I think, similar to me coming to Stanford. She took over a program that was, and like Dawn Staley, kind of, has taken a program from the outhouse to the penthouse, and Dawn is definitely in the penthouse, and Coach Yo is looking to do the same thing. And I think things are different now with all the, whether it's a portal, the NIL and everything. But I think it's great that she's keeping it real. That whether it's community service things or just coaching, really, coaching is not just giving candy to players. It's making corrections. It's helping them reach their potential, and it seems like she is doing a great job. And it was fun to just visit with her, even though it was a very short visit. I just kind of welcomed her to Stanford, and wanted to have they had a good game yesterday, and I just don't want her to have a great game tomorrow.
Tara, on the men's side, when a team wins a tournament game, they get that unit, which gives a lot of financial incentives. And I was thinking about this yesterday because it was your guys' 100th program NCAA tournament win on the women's side. If that system does come to the women's game, like people have been thinking it could in the future or even the very near future, how much would that change the women's game here in the college level?
I think it's a good idea to do. Now, do some math and figure out how much we would have made. That would be fun. But, I think that women's basketball is, this year, I've just seen a trajectory of crowds and enthusiasm and attention, and thanks to all of you and the hard work that you do, telling our story about great players and great teams and great programs. I think that when you attach money to something, it attaches importance to it. And so if there are units, then that's saying it's important. And that's, I think it is important, but until we really, when we keep doing the things that we're doing, we're not really putting kind of our money where our mouth is.
Hello. Tara, Kurt Streeter from the New York Times. Spin back a little while, or a bit here, to the first tournament that you coached, the Stanford team. What memories stick out from that?
I might need a little help, but what I remember is playing at Montana. Was that our first one? I think so. It was an overtime game. And so I think that was maybe, let's see, would that have been Jennifer Azzi's, would it be our sophomore year? So if it was our sophomore year, then we went to Texas and got beat by Texas next. And this was before the three-point line. This was before we had over and back. This was before cell phones and probably even computers. But it was a thrilling game up in Montana. And I think Jocelyn Tinkle, who was at our game yesterday, her mother played in that game at Montana. And Montana had great support. It was packed, from what I remember. It was a really exciting game. And then we went to Austin and lost to Texas. But it was just what also happened was Jennifer Azzi and Sonia Henning drove to the Final Four up in Tacoma, Washington. I think it was either their sophomore year or their junior year, to see what the Final Four looked like. And that was how committed they were. They put Stanford women's basketball on the map. And then the next year, we lost to Louisiana Tech. So that would have been in '89. And that's when they had Venus Lacey. And again, maybe there was a three-point line that year. But it was just like, how are we ever going to compete? The bodies, and this is even something that is relevant, the bodies of Mississippi versus Gonzaga, this bigger, stronger, quicker, and that's what I saw I'm like, how are we going to do that? And one of my assistants reminded me that we had Val Whiting coming the next year, and Val Whiting became a fantastic player, one of the only, I think, really one of the only primetime players that won 2 national championships for us at Stanford, who I believe should be in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame or even the Naismith Hall of Fame. She's that good. You got a little more than you asked for. But what the heck?
The philosopher Heraclitus said you never step in the same river twice, and that every season is different. You've been at this for a long time. Does it feel different for you every single season, and just what's different with this team and just making adjustments, or does it get to a point where you get into a rhythm, doing the same thing every year? Just talk about how each season is different in the term, even though you've done this so many times, if that question makes any kind of sense.
Every year is different. It's a completely different puzzle to put together, not even when you have some of the same players. So this year is so different from last year, with the people we have, with the experiences that we've had this year. It's been, I think, very rewarding, but also a very challenging season.
Tara, obviously, you guys had senior night, but typically you guys host some games here in Maples. So for this quartet that you have, the Funky Four, with tomorrow being their last game here, can you kind of talk about what that group has meant to you in their time on campus and all that you guys have gone through?
Yeah, we have been on a roller coaster journey. As a freshman group, We had a great season, but it was stopped by the pandemic, so they never got to play. And Haley was hurt that year. We finished second behind Oregon, which could have been a national championship team. I think it was a possible Elite Eight, Final Four team, but no tournament. And so then the next year, we come back and win a national championship, and only team in history of men's or women's basketball to win by 1 point in the 2 semifinal and final game. Then last year, obviously going to the Final Four, going undefeated in the Pac-12. They're a group of the 4 of them are very close. They really enjoy playing with each other, and they enjoy hanging out with each other. And they've been through a lot together, whether it's a pandemic or, just some of the challenges of, being healthy. But I think they'll be lifelong friends. And what else can you ask for as a coach? If you're coaching people that they really love each other, they play hard for each other, I think it's a great thing.
Just want to get your thoughts on Lauren Betts and just the growth that she has shown from when she first stepped on campus to now. Just what's been the biggest key to her growth and development as a big? Because a lot of bigs, as you know, it takes time for them to develop. She's done a great job. Just what's been the key to her development and progression throughout the year?
I think that's a great question. The key to her development has been the people she practices against every day. She plays against All-American Cameron Brink every day, and she doesn't always like it. But she plays against Ashton. She plays against Fran on Kiki. And those are the people that I think they encourage her, but they challenge her. They go at each other in a good way. But she understands that. I think it's a lot easier intellectually to understand that than to really do it. But she could be starting on another basketball team. She could be playing a lot more and maybe even putting up bigger numbers. But a lot of her development is happening in practice, and I think she's doing a great job. And she came in last night, and I thought played really well. And we are going to need her to play well tomorrow.
Any more questions for Coach Vanderveer?
Great.
Thank you,
All right,
Coach.
we'll see everyone tomorrow.
Good luck tomorrow. Thanks for attending today's press conferences. We hope to see you for the game tomorrow at 6:30 p.m.
Thanks, Janie. All right, nice to see everyone.